Members of the board. From Boardroom Productions, it's Boardroom Banter. Featuring your chairman of the board, David.
What is happening, everybody?
Chief Mayhem Officer, Derek.
Yo, 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 what is up?
And myself, Greg, your Chief of Obscurity. The following content is explicit. Discretion is advised.
Welcome, everybody, to Boardroom Banter. My name is David, and to my left is Derek.
What is up?
Ooh, and just across from us is Mr. Greg.
That's me.
That's what they say. Want to welcome everybody to tonight's episode. Hope everybody had a great week. We know it's been an interesting one so far the last couple of days, but want to let everybody know that this episode is not brought to you by Boardroom Banter Ale.
Find it nowhere.
In stores nowhere near you.
But it's delicious.
And if you do, it's not the same. It's not the same taste. You're never going to find it.
I actually had somebody in the workplace ask me when they were going to get some Boardroom Banter Ale and if we had it brewed for us privately. I explained to them that though I thought they were, rather cool brethren of the world, that unfortunately they did not qualify to taste the amazingness of Boardroom Banter Ale.
So you know how Gwyneth Paltrow used the scent of her vagina for a candle?
Shut up.
I actually didn't know that.
No,
but
she
I'm
fucking
interested.
didn't.
Yeah, that happened.
So
I'm pretty
what?
sure it was a candle that she used the scent of her vagina for a candle.
Is the name of it Pike's Place or?
So does it smell like you're next to like a tuna canning
Don't
factory?
know, but what I was going to say is I was going to let our listeners know about part of an ingredient to this, which unfortunately, this is how bros we are, is Derek's ball sack is so big that we actually use it as the cauldron for the initial mash.
Yeah. I mean, it's needs that certain je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
It needs the one gray hair brewing
There's
in
like
the mix.
that. There's
Yeah.
like that salt content that you need that you just can't get anywhere else.
Well, and if you've ever noticed that it is crisp with a very kind of subtle tang at the finish.
Yeah. But hey, once you
I am
bottle
from Salt Lake City.
once you bottle it and just let it, batch itself out, you don't even know. You don't even know. But you're just like, wow, there's like this perfect flavor to it. Wow.
It is filtered, though.
It is. And that's the thing. You're not actually drinking Derek's ball sweat or anything.
Or lint.
But,
It's filtered through pubes.
so everybody knows that's actually... it's part of the process for Boardroom Banter Ale. That's why you'll find it nowhere, because obviously the FDA wouldn't approve of that.
I want to know more back on this fucking vagina scented candle.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty confident.
How much is it?
Oh God, who knows? But I'm pretty confident it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
Dear God.
You know what? I'll get on the interwebs real quick.
I've heard of some weird shit. I've heard of making chocolates out of your anus.
Yeah.
I've heard...
I saw that where you can get a custom chocolate mold of your butthole.
Or the body paint thing where you put it on your wall. That's kind of cool too.
Yeah.
I've seen, where you could send... This one's pretty good too. If you really fucking hate somebody or you need a good laugh for the afternoon, you could send poop through the mail.
Yes.
And it's not even human.
Feces that you can't send. Human is one of them.
Oh, really?
Dog is
so
another.
you just send your own?
No. You can't. You're not allowed to ship human feces.
I would just send my own.
Well, I mean, sure, you could put it in a brown paper sack on the doorstep,
Have you guys actually done that and lit it on fire? Have you watched somebody
No.
stomp out a bag?
No, I never did that.
I have once.
Real quick for you guys. This was an article from January 13th, 2020. I won't read you the entirety of it. I'm just going to read you the headline because that's what we do best as Americans, is we just read the headlines of things.
That's all we need.
Why is Gwyneth Paltrow selling a candle that smells like her vagina?
What I want to know is who was qualified to say,
Yeah, where did they get this?
yep, smells like Gwyneth Paltrow's flower.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
who did the samples for that?
This is insights from Grandpa Talbot.
Okay.
Any port is home during a storm.
I disagree.
Any port is home during a storm, so that probably smells like some fucking ripe pickings.
Well, the thing is did they do like focus groups with random test people and give them light the candle in a room?
Yeah.
And give
How
them
does
a
this
pin
smell
and a
to you?
piece?
What
Bro,
is this?
It's some
Yeah.
of the gnarliest of the gnarliest. It's probably crab fishermen
Well, I want
that
to.
went on a hiatus and bought this, and they were like, "Oh, I really enjoy the smell of this candle."
I want to interview the guy who actually had the balls to write
I want to know. Just be the one guy. Be the one guy is like, is that Gwyneth Paltrow? What?
Is that-
How do you know who that is?
Does it have like a Bath and Body Works spray on it that you can?
You never know.
You know,
You
you know those
never
sprays
know.
when you get to them.
Does it have the blind guys really confused when they walk in the lobby of whatever hotels?
They just
burning
have a
that
random
candle?
erection.
Hello,
and
ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they
You
just
knew
get
where
a-
I was going with that.
It's like some Valvina shit.
Fucking Afro
ladies.
Afro man.
Good God.
Yeah, the random blind man just walk there. Instant erection. Doesn't even. People
Yeah.
won't even think the wise.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Dude, if there was a candle that gave you an instant erection, fuck you, Viagra.
I'm sure
You know
Blue-
how
hey.
cheap that would be? You spend $4.95 at Walmart and you sniff the motherfucker and you're just hard as a rock.
I'm sure Blue Chews is working on that as we speak.
Right.
Dude, that sounds like a multi-million-dollar.
Blue Chew
Yeah.
nasal spray.
Ooh, there you go.
I don't like
Bet it
nasal
would
sprays,
work.
though.
It'd probably work faster
Probably. Just because it's
than
going
what I
through the
meant.
nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was saying snuffulation always works faster than direct injection.
What if you had to put it in your pee hole?
Ingestion.
Ah.
I'm out at
Ah,
that point.
no.
Yeah.
No. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Things don't go in a pee hole.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If it was like, oh, you get the best erection of your life,
Out,
but you got
out only, my man. Out only.
I think I will just, keep the memories of being a teenager versus probing my urethra.
Yeah, it's going to happen as we get older. Hey, sir,
No.
you're going to have a catheter put in.
I've
not
had
gonna
one
hurt.
of those and it fucking hurts.
Hurts
When they
more.
pull it out,
I hear it hurts more coming out.
Yeah.
oh my God. I
At
couldn't.
that point, it's dried up
Because usually when they're putting it in, you're unconscious. So,
Yeah.
and
it's lubed.
So they have
Yeah.
to wait till you talk to them, and I was talking some shit when I woke up, and they fucking pulled it out. And oh my God, I couldn't piss for 24 hours, right? So I'm sitting in the like ICU of another hospital, and it's been like almost 24 hours, and this nurse comes in, fucking old haggard bitch, right? She's like, stand up. I stand up. She pulls this little curtain in my room, gives me a cup. She says, piss in it. I was like, okay. She was like, if you don't pee in it, I'm sticking a catheter back in. I tell you what, I fucking started pissing so quick. That was some of the worst pain I ever had in my life, bro.
She starts putting on that one glove and giving you the awkward eye contact.
exactly.
She wasn't even going to put me in the fucking bathroom to let me
Terrible.
pee. She was like, do it now.
Terrible.
I was like, whoa.
Mama meant business.
Because all day they're like, do you have to pee? And I mean, once you get one of those fucking things shoved in your fucking shaft, no, you don't have to pee.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No.
It probably causes tissue damage on the way out. Mild adhesions from the inside of your urethra.
It's probably more so than in physical damage. It's the emotional of it.
Yeah.
Just, oh, yeah.
It's a little degrading, I'm sure.
Dude, you know there's some sick fucking nurses out there that love sticking it in there, though.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Oh, I can attest to that.
Oh, I bet.
100% guarantee I can attest to that one.
Like, look at this fucking prick.
yeah, no, I can definitely
Then they probably just laugh at your wiener size anyway.
not mostly because I mean, dude, most of the time flaccid's always flaccid. Most people are growers, not showers. Believe
Yeah.
it or not, most are.
Porn is a lie, Derek.
Yeah, and the ones
My whole life is a lie.
the ones that are showers are typically not growers. So,
Yeah, it just kind of stands up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want the best of both worlds.
Oh, you want to be that guy? You want to be the Mandingo?
I want to be Ron Jeremy.
He wants to be the tripod.
Yeah, it's like a baby arm holding an apple.
Oh, jeez. I'm good. That guy doesn't get laid enough. Guarantee you. 8 out of 10 girls are like, no, I can't do that.
No,
But you find that one that's a fucking freak and you don't have anything to worry about, buddy.
well, that's because
Yeah.
she likes to get fisted at night. So.
Yeah, I was going to say you're talking about like the lack of quality, probably.
Yeah.
Fuck fisting. Rotten.com. I saw a head go in
Oh,
that motherfucker.
God.
Oh, yeah. That was a good website.
For all you people
Yeah.
that don't know, now you know.
For
Right.
the younger generation.
The real question is, did anybody archive that site?
I'm sure maybe out there somewhere. It's probably on the fucking dark web, to be honest.
Well,
If it got
Anybody
archived.
archive that video? Because I want to really
But-
see how big that guy's head is now.
But it was for anyone in the younger generation that doesn't know, because the internet was fucking awesome when we were younger.
It was truly the Wild West.
It really was. You think it's like, oh, it's terrible now? No.
The things you could publicly view on the internet
Yeah.
in the 90s and early 2000s.
The dark
it
web
was-
was on the regular web
Yep.
at that point.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
There was no dark web, and
Speaking of the dark web, did you hear that the founder of the 2 life sentences for founding the Silk Road?
Oh, wow.
So-
Well, how many deaths do you think he was responsible for?
But
A
is
lot.
that on him when all he did was just make a website that facilitated for all the other dealers to
That's
actually
like
do what they
asking-
needed
Yes.
to do?
was Charles Manson slayings on him?
Well, you never know on that one. That's some gray water. To me, I'm just like, hey, it's like Zuck. It's like if Zuck makes his web, he's got Facebook, and some people do what they do on Facebook, and then something happens. Is it on Zuck? That's what, in my head.
Zuck had a good stab lately, by the way.
I don't know the full ins and outs of everything that took place, but my understanding is that just he created this website on the dark web to allow people to facilitate what they needed to facilitate, and he just took some off the top
Well,
as
I
fees
think-
for like eBay fees, basically.
I think the difference
So-
between the two is one of them is a legitimate social thing,
Yeah.
and the other one was created to facilitate illegal activity.
drugs and
Yeah.
drugs.
We still got Reddit for that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
In either case, I'm saying one's a little more nefarious than the other. Does he deserve 2 life sentences? Why? Why would you give somebody 2 life sentences? I think 1 life
Yeah.
sentence
Because
is
he might
probably
be a
good
superhuman.
I mean, to me, we've seen people do worse who were actually responsible get way less.
enough. Yeah, or pardon.
P. Diddy. It's coming.
It's
Yeah,
coming. I can't.
it's
I cannot.
coming.
Like I said, March or May, one of the two. But I can't wait to start when they actually go to court.
It's gonna be
once we
like-
can start seeing all the transcripts from all the court proceedings. Oh, dude, it's
It's going to be like that fight you were waiting for 2 months for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy and Kyle meeting out at the courtyard at noon after lunch.
Well, speaking of pardons too, like I just saw that all the people from those riots at the Capitol,
Wasn't all.
not all.
Wasn't all. No.
See, I probably read some stupid news story that said it was
well,
all,
and that's
but
what-
most of.
But that's what they're trying to play it out to be. So
Yeah.
it was. They did. I think it was 1,500 people that were pardoned. Okay, and then there were some where their sentences were commutated. So some were reduced, others were pardoned. The main ones that were pardoned were people.
I saw the brothers that were.
Well, you had like there were some people that were pardoned. Like for instance, there was a couple who everything had already happened at the Capitol, right?
Uh-huh.
They were kind of late to the show, if you want to call it that. Walked in and were like, "Wow, look at this place, okay," and then turned around and walked out. And a year later, they were raided and sent to 18 months.
Yeah, and there are some people who were just there
Yeah.
or, committed crimes
Exactly.
of vandalism and disorderly conduct who have been in prison for 4 years.
Yeah.
You don't go to prison for 4 years for vandalism and disorderly conduct.
Exactly. So
That's
a lot,
not a normal sentence
A
for
lot
that.
of these people that were pardoned, either it was for like serious BS. Like there was another guy who was a independent journalist who ended up there, and he was taking his pictures, doing his thing, documenting everything that was going on, so forth. He got slapped with 4 years. 4 years.
If you were there busting out windows and being a douchebag,
Yeah,
you should
by all
absolutely have a criminal record, but 4 years for busting out a window? That's pretty lame.
I mean, it is a federal building, so federal
It is.
does carry
Yeah.
typically a little bit more than
But should
the
it?
typical. In my head, no. But I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe those people were the ones that were part. It was just all these people who got hit for stupid shit
Yeah.
and were sent to jail for like just those two minor examples. Like there's a lot. I mean, when you talk 1,500 people out of how many thousands and thousands of people that were there that day.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I mean. Like they only pardoned 1,500, and I'm assuming, because obviously I don't get to see every case file or anything like that, but
Right.
it's the majority of those kinds of people that were, rolled up like a year after the fact. When,
At that point in time, the J6 committee was, oh, you were there, you're in jail.
Exactly. That's how
You were
exactly how
there
it went
at all.
down.
You were across the
Yeah.
street, you're in jail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then there was the member of the Proud Boys, the founder,
Yeah.
Enrique Entario is his name, I believe it is, and he wasn't even there, and they locked him up for 22 years for seditious conspiracy, I believe is what they actually labeled and charged him with, even though he wasn't even there.
Well, there's a lot of fucked up things, just like you were saying, breaking a window, maybe doing a little graffiti, maybe doing this or that. But when you're defacing a federal or a state building, so I'll say this just for facts. When I was 14 years old, I was state property. I had a tattoo put on my body. I got caught with a tattoo on my body. I got locked up and sent to a juvenile detention for defacing state property at that point. Fucked up. I'm a human being.
It's stupid. It's your property, not the government.
I was underage. Yeah. I should have got, maybe yelled at or this or that.
Something.
But
Scolding.
I got thrown into a detention center for youth, and my charges were defacing state property.
Wow. I didn't know you were property of the state in that state.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, in Utah, I was awarded to the state when I was 5 years old.
That's why. That's why. Okay.
No, I'm all about like
Still, that's crazy.
No, that was more like parental shit and everything. But like when I was 5 years old, I was deemed state property at that point.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's ultimately where it kind of comes down to with those pardons, is just getting the people out that didn't actually need to be there. You know?
Anybody responsible for violence against another human or actual bad stuff.
And then this is where it kind of comes to play. Okay, so obviously no police officers were killed that day. I know they tried to play it out that way. It didn't happen. I'm sure there was some pushing, shoving, maybe an assault that could have taken place on a police officer at that time.
There was several. It's on video.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is that 4 years?
I don't know what the average sentence for that is, but I would imagine 4 years for assault on anybody, even a police officer, is a little heavy unless
that's where I'm at.
Unless they're repeat offenders.
Like that to me is like a 1 to 2 year sentence, I would think.
Here's another one for you.
I don't know the law in and out.
If you're
correct me if I'm wrong, but
if you're sitting in county and you're in a unit, right above the unit, big sign says, if you harm another inmate, it is a felony. If you hit an officer, it's only a misdemeanor. No, true fact. So because when you're locked up and you're in custody and you're in county jail, you're state's property at that point.
Okay.
So if you get into a fight with another inmate, like in Salt Lake County jails, like above every fucking unit, it says this, like if you fight another inmate, you're getting charged with a felony. If you hit an officer, it's only a misdemeanor. So it's like, why wouldn't I be hitting officers all day?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
You would think it'd be the other way around.
No, you would, but yeah.
But should it be?
Hey, man, law's all weird. That's all I can say. It's all weird.
I'm not promoting violence.
Neither am I.
I don't promote
not at all.
Violence at all.
But it's just
unless we're watching a UFC match.
The bass awkwardness.
Well, that's different. I mean, those are gladiators.
Yeah.
Those are warriors, right?
Yeah.
They agreed to that. But I am definitely not a violent person, and I believe anybody who the punishment should fit the crime. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
The punishment should fit the crime.
Yep.
I haven't seen a blanket pardon for future crimes that they may be
that may or may not have happened.
May or may not have actually really did, but we're saying it actually did happen by pardoning them
That's
in
fucking
advance.
crazy.
Pardon in advance.
I've never seen that. I mean, hey, that dude, history in the making right there. We'll never see that again in our lifetimes. And the funny thing is, all right, I mean, so before the incumbent had left office, the mainstream media was floating that around that he was going to preemptively pardon his kids.
But can he?
Well, and that was the thing. So they were talking about this at the time. There's plenty of clips that you can find of this from like CNN, MSNBC, all those guys, right? Of talking about this and shitting on it. Like this, that's unconstitutional. It can't happen. It's a preemptive pardon. How can you preemptively pardon this and that and da-da-da and getting, Adam Schiff and all these guys on and shitting on that idea. Here we are, fast forward 4 years later, and then it happens, and it's crickets.
Yeah.
Fucking crickets. Like, oh, okay. So was it bad or wasn't it bad? Like,
oh, it was obviously bad.
What a fucking
yeah.
dad, though. I think that this year's for Father's Day should go to the old president.
it was elder abuse.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, when you pardon your fucking crack smoking son,
Yeah.
like, that should be the ultimate Father's Day fucking, you are the father of the fucking year. Like,
Well,
I wish I had that in my life. Like, oh, my daddy's the president. Let's go fucking smoke crack
crack
balls
with hookers.
the
Yeah.
fucking size of golf balls with Charlie Sheen and fucking be okay.
Yeah.
Well, the joke going on around right now on the interwebs is he pardoned everybody but himself.
Oh, yeah.
That's the joke going on,
Bro,
right
and that's
now.
the other thing, too. I mean, you could get put on these, you know, these stupid, like, little drug charges. Like, drugs are bad. Don't get me wrong. You get caught with some drugs. You get caught with this or that. But the thing is, you could be doing fucking life sentences, if not more. But a fucking pedophile gets out in a couple years?
Oh, dude, they don't even really have anything happen to
No,
them
that's what
anymore.
I'm saying. And the state we're in, you don't even, we've seen it personally. You
fucking
don't even
slap
have
on the wrist.
You don't even have to register.
No.
And they'll just come to your house. They'll throw you in county.
Yeah.
And then in 3 months, they'll do the fucking same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's horrible.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, no, it's totally fine. If
I'd rather have zombies at the corner fucking, you know, falling over themselves.
Yeah. Some flocka. Some people crawling around on the streets eating each other's faces.
Yeah, then some fucking pedophiles walking
Yeah.
around and shit. And
Yeah, priorities have definitely gone askew.
Derek, get it right. It's a minor attractive person.
No, say that again. I swear to Christ.
what did you just say?
It's a minor attractive person.
It's a pedophile piece of shit who doesn't deserve the oxygen they breathe.
That's what they're trying to label them.
So there's a fucking
That's what
class for it now?
No.
No,
there's not. It's not
That's-
real.
It's what they're trying to label themselves as to normalize it, is calling themselves a minor attracted person.
That's called grooming for the rape of children.
Do you know what I hope they do? I hope they put every electric car on fucking kill mode and drive, like, have a big convention for all these fuckers and just drive every Tesla around it or electric car and just blow them fucking all up.
We are not promoting violence. We're just speaking a hypothetical here. If a car decided to,
Take anybody out, it should be
mysteriously,
pedophiles?
like, become sentient, and it wanted to do something positive for the world, that could be maybe something positive.
So if you're a hacker and you know facial recognition,
we are not promoting hacking in this
All right.
world, but
Please don't hack my account. Please.
not that account, but if you're fucking AI and you could get pedophiles' faces, ooh. I might be for the sale of electric cars.
You
at
know
that
what,
point.
though? I would say in the past couple of days, I don't think that the term MAP, or minor attracted person, is going to be
recognized anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Yeah,
going to be
thank
really
God.
making a push anymore.
Yeah, the door was fucking closed on that one, bud.
Yes.
Right in the inaugural speech, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But to be honest, guys, and you know how I sit politically, I don't think a nation needs to have a stance on how many genders there are.
No.
I don't think it needs to be a fucking topic to begin
It
with.
really
No, there's
doesn't.
male and female.
Well, honestly,
I like the hesitation in that one there, Derek.
I mean, for our viewers, I don't know.
there's like dudes and chicks.
yeah.
Well, I don't care what anybody believes. I don't think there needs to
Look,
be.
I don't care what you're doing with your
do you
fucking
want to
pecker.
know what the differences are? Okay, you got dudes, you got chicks, you got tomboys, and you got femmy bitches. And the femmy bitches are the dudes.
Bro, if you like doing weird shit with your wiener, like, I don't care. Just
Keep it
point
in your-
of the
keep it in
matter
your house
is
and keep it away from
there
kids.
doesn't have to be a class of it.
Yeah.
the
Keep it-
entire subject does not need to be politicized.
No.
That is your personal life. You're free to believe what you want to believe, choose what you want to choose, as long as it's not hurting other people. We don't need to waste our time as a nation.
I'm
arguing
having
over-
Don't say it
naked
that way.
church.
Don't say it as long as it's not hurting people, because they'd be like, then we fall back to the map guys. I wasn't hurting that kid. I love that kid.
No.
That kid loves me.
No.
God damn it,
But nobody believes those guys, and none of them deserve to be alive.
I'm starting a naked church.
A naked church?
Yeah.
18 and over?
Of
I'm
course.
sure that's happened already at some point in our lives. Well, maybe not our lives, but I'm sure in sometime in history.
In the 60s.
There was, I don't know if it was a full-on religion, but I remember maybe it was just an individual who thought they can get their nourishment from the sun. So they didn't eat food or anything. They just thought that if they sat in the sun, they would get their
Well, that person was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
pretty much. And I guarantee
They died.
I guarantee you they voted for Biden if they were still living today.
A thing like as far as I knew, with our generation, we already didn't give a shit.
No,
we already didn't care.
No, we didn't care.
Well, and that's the problem is with our generation, I don't know why you would think that would be the way, but there is a weird split in our generation where it falls with more of the millennial side and this, Zoomer, Gen Z, whatever. And then there's us that more coincide with the Gen Xers and beyond and the boomers.
Yeah.
There is a weird divide that kind of took place in our age range.
Elder millennial versus younger millennial,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is because a lot of our parents were equipped to raise us, and a lot of us were raised by our grandparents, which I know I was. I know you were.
Trust me, I got some buddies where, unfortunately, I don't know how to talk to them. We don't really talk a whole lot anymore just because of 2016 taking place during that time frame. But, and you can't really say, like, I feel bad for you. When talking to them, like, because we've gotten in arguments like that, and at the end of the day, I can't look at them and just be like, I feel bad for you that you think that way, because then their retort to that is just going to be, oh, you're in a fucking cult and da da da, and it's making it sound religion, because that sounds very religious if someone has looked at you like some old school Christian being like, I feel bad for you that you think that way, son. Can't. But hey, maybe sometime down their life they're going to figure it the fuck out. Who knows?
Well, I feel like as a nation we could be focused on more important topics than what you like to do in bed. Nobody cares.
I think as a nation we need to stop being such pussies, because there's so much more people in this world, right? There is compared to like what there was years and years ago. So you didn't have all this influx of people like complaining and whining and this and that. But there's so much fucking people now. It's like you can't not hear it.
To me, and to kind of just go off that real quick, is as a nation, I don't give a fuck about any other nation.
Yeah.
I only care about this one that I live in.
That's the only one I care. I don't care what you do with your fucking wiener or your vagina or what you don't do with it. Or
any of that, just keep it inside.
Yeah.
I don't care. As long as you ain't hurting kids, cool. Keep it inside the house.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Do what you fucking want to do.
When, like all these migrant stuff and like, oh, we got to care. No, fuck them.
You don't ever hear me walking around saying, oh,
sorry.
You don't know how hetero I am. I'm so hetero.
I may have heard that once.
Hetero sex ever. It was all missionary. We didn't make eye contact. I just pulled it out of the hole in my underwear. Like, nobody walks around bragging about being so fucking hetero.
Yeah.
We did soaking like in the Mormon church.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, we went over that one time, but for those who don't know, Derek, fill us in.
No, I was just making a comment. There's soaking, just putting your wiener in and not doing anything, just letting it soak.
It's like McLovin. And it's super bad.
It's in.
There you go. That's the mental image that everybody now has of what soaking is.
I think you have to pray while you soak.
Yeah, to me, it's always been that way. I don't give two shits about any other country.
I don't either.
I only care about this one. Make sure that this one is doing what it needs to do, being prosperous, securing borders, whatever it may be. And fuck everybody else. Not isolationist. I don't. Obviously we have our trade deals, whatnots, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about anybody else but us.
Well, there has to come a point in time where we have to fix our own problems before we can even begin to imagine how to assist
exactly.
other people.
It's like I was telling my wife the other day is we have let it go for so long that now that we're going to finally rip the Band-Aid off, it's going to be a bad rip. Don't get me wrong. It's going to suck.
Yeah.
But hey, if they would have ripped this Band-Aid like 25 years ago, wouldn't have been as bad.
Nope.
We've let it get so bad now that it's going to suck for a little bit, but that wound will heal. Yeah. But it's got to fucking happen at some point, or it's just going to get so bad that, you already see where we're at now. Now multiply that by about 10. And, maybe that'll get us in the ballpark of where things could go.
Well, really unity should be a goal. We should be more concerned about unifying the nation for the common goal of our own prosperity versus all the little crappy, not even really that important topics that have been the topic for the last however long. 4 years strong at least.
Hey man, every human being matters. It doesn't matter what fucking race, what culture, what anything, religious standpoint.
Unless you're a pedophile and then you don't matter.
No, we should have taken care of you a long time ago.
Or if you're into, arranged child marriages or...
All pedophilia or P. Diddy crimes, you should just be fucking killed
goats
on
the spot.
Or...
Yeah, what those goats do to you anyway?
If you've got a pair of Velcro gloves in your drawer... I'm gonna be fucking worried, and we're not gonna be friends.
When you walk by the farmer's field and hear Eddie,
yeah. See, there's some caveats to it, but I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like, and we can all, like, in my head, we can all agree to that.
Yeah, if you are violating somebody who is not able to help themselves, then you are the definition of evil.
Yes.
Yeah. Like telling some fucking 5-year-old kid that, they're actually the opposite gender of what they really are because one day they decided to wake up and say, I'm this, because,
because they're a kid and they're trying to figure shit out.
It's like it's like my kid right now. For the longest time, she's a princess. Do you know what she told me the other day? She woke up the other day and says, Daddy, I'm not a princess anymore. I'm a fairy. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
You know? And then I was like, well, so are you a fairy princess? No.
I'm sure, too.
And so I was like, okay, well, we got to throw all your glass slippers away because fairies don't wear glass slippers. Only princesses wear glass slippers. To which then she was like, oh, well, I'm a princess.
Yeah, so, you're not taking my shoes.
Yeah. So, fucking kids make up their mind every goddamn day of something new that they are when they're that age. You can't sit there and be like, oh, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, you got to let them explore and continuously explore. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then when you start pressing your own idealism into your kid for whatever kind of virtue that you're trying to signal vicariously through your family,
unfortunately,
then
that's
you are
abuse.
Doing your child a major disservice.
That's just straight up abuse to me.
Yeah.
It's psychological abuse, and then it turns into physical. If you start going down that road of taking your kid to a doctor for quote-unquote gender-affirming care, then it goes from psychological abuse to a physical abuse situation.
Do whatever you want when you're an adult and your brain is developed and you know that's what you want. But when you're a kid and we don't even trust you enough to let you drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, or get a tattoo, then why would you allow somebody to permanently change their physiology?
Fuck, half the time you don't even let them trust them enough to choose a movie.
Yeah.
Trust me, I got a tattoo at 13 and I wish it wasn't there.
See?
Yeah, it's same.
You know?
See?
It's just a matter of, if you, in my opinion, coming from somebody who grew up in a counterculture situation, if you believe your child may not be heterosexual, that is just fine. However, you should allow your child to grow up naturally as they would. You shouldn't be meddling in their ideals in that department.
The way I see it is raise your kid the way, like a normal person would, and let the chips where they fall.
I'm going to say
the chips where they fall.
Because this is who I am. If you're a parent and you're raising your kid that's under a double-digit age and they want to fucking do it, like, there's something mentally fucked in your head for even, like, considering this option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's something wrong with you. You should probably go seek some mental health. Like, honestly, if they're doing this to kids that are below a double-digit age, like, I'm talking below 10.
Well, I don't... Yeah, I mean, it's even worse when they're that young, right? Because they're far more impressionable. And as a teenager, you start to get just the slightest little bit of a grasp of the world, but it's still not even the full picture. And if you just speak strictly on biological terms, the average human's brain isn't fully developed till they're between the ages of 24 and 28.
Yep. I'm just saying, you know me, I'm the furthest from hate that like, I don't care what you are. But if you're pushing this on your kid at like a certain age, like, it's more about you and not them. I think
it's 100%.
And you're putting shit into their fucking head. You're doing this. You're planting that seed.
We all raise our children in hopes of them being better than us. But if your idea of being better than you is you have to go to those extremes to make sure that they're not a certain way, be it focused on bigotry, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, any of the other topics you can throw out there, that to me says more about you than anything else. Mm-hmm. And with that,
I'll crack a boardroom banter that.
Fucking pop that top.
just got freezing in here.
It is freezing outside.
Well, that was pretty kind of cool. The inauguration, too. It was one of the... How long has it been since they've done it inside?
The factoids that I saw on the interwebs was 1985.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Via Ronald Reagan.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, that was about 39 years ago or so.
I'm not going to lie, though. The first thing that I thought when they were inside with how there's already been 2 assassination attempts,
well,
I was like, is this the smartest fucking thing that's happening right now?
Ultimately, that's kind of... That's
Lincoln.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think that's, in my head, why they did it. I watched a...
I think it played a factor.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
I know they did a 30-minute... Because leave it to fucking Trump to sit there and do Q&As. I mean, even during the inauguration, he fucking jumped here and then when you're watching the news, you're like, oh, now he's doing Q&A with all these news people.
Oh, he loves
now
to
he's
hear
back and
himself
he's doing
talk.
a speech.
Yeah.
He did a 30-minute, and I watched it last night, and I mean, obviously, it was pretty refreshing, to be honest, to see the President of the United States taking questions for 30 straight minutes.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Which is something that we haven't really seen over the last 4 years, because he would take like maybe 1 or 2 and just walk away at best.
I mean, he'd forget the fucking question before he even answered it.
There was
We're
that
lucky
too.
his pants were up.
But one of the reporters they asked him if it was a security concern, if that was one of the reasons why they moved in, and he was like, no, not at all. He's like, actually, to the contrary. He's like, it was just really cold outside. You all know how cold it was out there. He said, and for as long as that was, I didn't see anybody being able to. No one would have lasted that long outside with how cold it was.
Yeah, it was freezing.
And then he's
there.
like, but hey, it was really nice inside. It was 72 degrees. The acoustics were great. You all had a great time, didn't you? You had a great time. He goes,
Well, you know what I thought was kind of cool, and this wasn't intended to necessarily influence or indoctrinate my son one direction or the other, but he sat down on the couch because he's somewhat interested in politics at an age-appropriate level.
Yeah.
But we don't do a whole lot of that in the home.
no. And I'm sure you're not pushing the direction. You're just like, okay, if you want to kind of watch something,
Answering
make up your
questions
mind.
to the best of my abilities in the most neutral way I can. If he asks me directly what my opinion is, I'll tell him. But he sat on the couch and was watching the inauguration speech with us, and kind of recording some of it on his cell phone. And my son, his dream right now is to be a YouTuber and a gaming streamer, and that's an ultra new age goal, right?
Hey, if he starts young, I mean,
It's been my kid's goal for like 3 years now.
Yeah. But he gets out his little digital camera that I gave him that's like early 2000s. And then actually he has my wife's old one now, which was like 2012 model or something anyway.
okay.
Olympus, right?
Nice.
Back when digital cameras were the shit. Cause
I ain't heard that
phone-
name in a while.
Yeah. So
Bro, we're trying to make it right now.
he sets it up on the desk facing
we
his
are.
screen of his laptop, and he gets on and makes like he doesn't upload to anything. He doesn't have any social media accounts or any of that. All that stuff's pretty highly monitored at home. But he's getting on and practicing, and man, I'm watching his videos with him, and he's doing a really good job, like hitting the points, and he has a structure to his videos. His little girlfriend called him and was a guest on the video while they were playing together on Roblox. Yeah, it was. He even already had a guest co-star to his show there. Yeah,
It's more than we've had.
I know.
Yeah, we'll have it sometime.
He's an achiever, man.
It'll happen.
He's all in or all out.
I did have somebody say today, because I was like, oh, it's podcast night. And they were like, I would talk shit about this, but when you become famous from doing this, I don't want to eat my own words. And I was like, sir, if I fucking become famous from this, like, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I would have said talk all the shit you want so I can fucking talk shit about you later on.
It came from the man with the huge head, just so you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of,
I think
I've never even had that.
I think
praise.
that guy is pretty liable to become famous himself. He's pretty successful in the way that he does his reels for advertising and stuff.
Yes.
He's really good at it.
He actually is.
Yeah,
He's actually got a little gift at that.
Yeah. I mean, that guy, he's an attention for detail person too.
Well, he's such a kid at heart.
Yeah.
And that's what he does is he's letting that kid at heart out in that space now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it works.
It's good to see.
It works.
Oh, our little guy's grown up.
growing up. Bro, I had the best burn from today, too.
Guy
He was
led
like,
with his head for so long, and now he's finally got enough under them legs, to keep it up.
bro, and he was talking to these customers today, and he was like, oh, well, my wife says everybody in my family's so artistic, and the way that he said it, and like he was with 2 customers, and I was like, I had the fucking best burn right there. And then I went up to him later, and I'm like, you're the most autistic of them all, but no offense to anybody, he wasn't saying that to be anyway, but just it was funny if you
He
knew.
could be mistaken away by somebody who didn't know him, possibly, because he's so socially awkward.
He's very
sometimes.
animated
But it
and
was
socially
funny.
awkward.
It was
and
funny.
that kind of stuff.
Now I see where you're going with that. I find the humor in it.
Yeah.
And to the 2 other gentlemen we work with who are curious about Boardroom Banter Ale, maybe someday.
No, I don't think you'll have it.
It'll never happen.
Well, I told them after they become our official sponsor that perhaps.
Oh, are they in a position they can become our official sponsor?
Yeah, they're definitely in a position to
yeah.
become our official sponsor.
Oh.
Someday they will see the ways.
One day.
They will know the way.
They will.
We will
One
give
day.
you a Boardroom Banter Ale
Yes.
All you have to do is supply us
with Boardroom
with
Banter Ale.
unlimited amount of crisp, refreshing Boardroom Banter Ale.
Custom labeled.
Custom label.
We will
Yes.
let you know the
Boardroom
secret
Banter
at that
Ale.
point.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least give us a year's supply.
And-
we're only talking, what is it?
Hold on now. A year supply? That's like a 6-month supply.
1 18-pack a week.
Well, and I want you
19.
to. I want you to.
A
19 pack.
19-pack
Okay,
or a
it's a-
17-pack.
No, it's a 7-pack, a 19-pack, and a 25-pack.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you have to have one for the road.
One for the
Yeah.
road. So if you can supply those, we will let you know, and you could drink them with us.
And perhaps step it up a notch on the ABV, maybe another 1.2% there. But I do enjoy it as it is.
It is a lager. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's a crisp, refreshing
I thought it was
beverage.
Is it an ale?
an ale. No, it's not an ale.
It's an ale,
It's an ale.
but it's a lager ale.
It's a lager ale.
It's a lale.
It's an ale lager.
It's
But it's
Yeah.
our favorite.
it's delicious.
One day, our listeners will know the truth.
Perhaps. Until then, you're only left to guess. If you think you know what it is, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Email us at boardroombanter@gmail.com.
We'll at least say this much. It is not a blue fucking can.
Not a blue can.
So
There's nothing blue about this can.
get that out of your minds now.
right
Yep.
now.
We're not into that.
This can has a solid identity.
It is ours.
It knows exactly what it is.
It knows where it needs to be.
is
It's
not-
loud and proud to be whatever it is.
Yes, exactly.
I get people fucked up.
On a budget.
And you know what though? I have never gotten hungover on board.
Not even once.
I think there's enough
And I've gotten
water in
pretty
it.
shitty.
Yeah, I've drank a 19 pack.
I've gotten pretty shitty on Boardroom Banter Ale, and I have not had a hangover on it. Knock on wood, that has not happened yet. But God forbid, I mean, any other thing I've drank, I'll wake up the next morning feeling like death.
I think we've all got shitty on some boardroom banter.
oh boy,
Well,
it's happened a time or two.
How about this? I want to hop back over to our hot topic for the week.
Oh, what's a hot topic? Hey,
If-
that's a great store, by the way.
Hot gothic.
No.
It's not even hot gothic anymore.
Oh,
It's
no.
fucking hot emo.
Yeah,
is
it's
what it
so
is
bad.
now.
It used to be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Bro, I feel so weird going into that store. Like I used to go in there looking for band tees, and now it's like it's a fucking completely different animal.
I haven't been in
yeah.
there in forever.
It's
Oh, wait.
it's very commercialized.
I've-
You're in
even-
your fucking mid to late 30s, and you walk into a fucking hot gothic, and you're like,
It's-
oh my
don't
god.
even give it that kind of representation. It is not a hot gothic
All right.
anymore. I don't.
I haven't even been in a mall.
Hey, that
You
was
know-
the old school name for it. Though.
I know.
decade.
I haven't even seen like a true goth anymore
in
nowadays.
a while. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. You're all fucking posers.
It's straight up emo.
I like that.
If you're a real goth, will you
version.
send it to our email?
Oh yeah, like a real goth.
We wanna
we're
see
talking
pictures.
old school, early '90s fucking goth.
Like fucking gothing it out.
Yes,
Like the very definition of stoic.
Like
Where can they send that, David?
Just slightly pre Marilyn Manson, when Marilyn Manson was trying to make it mainstream in a way. Before that,
When he was doing all the fucking covers for other bands.
that was even before that too.
Kind of.
We're going to get somebody whose Facebook avatar is going to be one of the goth kids from South Park.
There you go.
You're
Yeah.
my kind of person.
Yeah,
I want to.
but
There was
hey,
a thing about goth chicks, bro.
you can either comment, and then if you want to send us a photo of your goth self,
If you have a collar on, it's even better.
you can send
Hopefully
that,
more than that.
yeah, you can send that to boardroombanter@gmail.com. Common spelling, BORED. Room and banter. God, I hope you know how to spell that.
If you don't bother.
If you don't, I mean, you're our kind of listener, but like, hopefully you know how to punch that in on a keyboard.
Voice search it on your phone.
Bro, that's what I do. What we do. It doesn't take a rocket scientist.
No.
Well, so I was
I
going
count
to
on my
say,
fingers most day.
Yeah, what were you?
going back to this topic that we were discussing, if you had just like one hope for the next 4 years, what would it be?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, that's the only hope.
Oh.
We're talking about just one.
Oh, the one? Oh, that's
One hope?
That's
One hope.
Oh, it's Neo.
Neo? Like the singer?
No. Derek. Not the fucking singer.
Oh. Just thought you wanted a personal concert of Neo.
Jesus fucking Christ, Derek. I swear to God.
Oh, yeah, the Matrix. Oh, okay.
Oh, the light bulb went off.
Motherfuckers, I'm taking both pills. I'm not choosing one, I'm taking them both.
Yo?
The singer?
I mean,
Jesus Christ. Were you singing the thong song in your head just now?
kinda.
Oh my
Spray
God.
painting his
You
hair
fucking
chrome.
D-gen, dude. Jesus
From
Christ.
upcountry.
Hey, you're a fucking DJ too. You know exactly what song I was thinking about when I fucking said that.
I grew up in the times, man. I know a lot of random references. Oh my God. Okay, what is the one hope?
For me, really, it's just about unifying our nation. I don't think we all have to think the same, feel the same, believe the same, but I do think that we all need to be for America. If you're not for America,
Then
you're not
fuck you.
for yourself.
No.
If you live here and you're not for the prosperity of your nation, your neighbors, your family, people you don't even know, you're not really for yourself either.
There's a lot of other countries that will take you.
Yeah. I think some celebrities have tried that.
Yeah. One of them is already back in our country, though.
Well, that's fine. Hopefully they have a different attitude and maybe a head of the fence.
Affordable living.
Probably towards the tail end.
It's going to take a while, but I mean,
it's going to take a long while.
That's
No,
my
it's-
thing, man. So it doesn't, because like, let's be honest. There's lower and there's high class now. Middle class has been fucking abolished.
Well, it's been that way for a long time.
It
They've
has
been
been.
squeezing out the middle class.
No,
for
it has
many
been.
years.
It has been. And you asked for my hope. My hope is that we can get that middle class back. That we can
It would
get
be nice.
to a point to where you could spend time with your family and work, and you can have a life, not just work and maybe see your kids every once in a while.
It's like even my sister-in-law.
You know?
You figure my sister-in-law, she lives in Northern California, and I guess 18 like a fucking little pack of eggs was $18, and a gallon of milk was $8.50 or some shit like that.
fucking
down there.
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Well, we have some things going on with the poultry, and the real problem is the baseline of these products is so high that when we have an outbreak of avian influenza or whatever, it becomes, like what should be a tank of gas to buy.
But still, man,
You know,
eggs have always
a
been
carton
like
of
poor
eggs.
people food. Like,
Yeah.
you've always been able to afford eggs, and when you're going to buy even an 18-pack now at fucking Costco is $12.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the baseline for that product is already too high. So
Yeah.
you're right. Like, and that's part of where I'm coming from on unifying the nation, because some of this is derived from division.
Yep. Some of it is.
Some of it is. Some
not
of
all
it
of it,
is the fucked up Heinz 57 baby of a whole bunch of shitty leadership that's trickled down through the years. We keep kicking the can down the road.
That's what I mean by ripping the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
You just
Gotta do it.
Just fucking get it over with.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
If anybody is
But-
left who is actually able to survive like a new depression or a financial reset, we're it now. It's not coming in the future.
No.
Those people don't
It's-
exist.
This is the time now.
yeah.
You know, I just, for me, it's seeing my fucking 3.5-year-old, and I want to make sure that when the time comes, she can
Yeah.
actually do something with her life and
Totally.
afford something.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I'm not expecting anything to miraculously happen in the next year or 2 years. I think it's going to be like year 3, 3.5, even right at the end of year 4 when we start seeing some shit in terms of pricing and all that kind of stuff, or, you know, housing, food, all that. Gas may actually happen pretty sooner than I think.
Maybe.
Than,
As soon as we start
Drilling.
well, like 6 months after we start drilling,
drill,
the
baby,
market
drill.
gets
I
flooded.
think the thing
Exactly.
for housing, though,
So-
multi-generational housing is going to be a thing until we can figure out a
It's
problem. man.
already a thing.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
going to be more of what it used to be. Like, you're going to have generations of families
That's-
living together.
It's like
Well,
even
yeah.
right
like
now with-
Italy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
take my wife, like, she wants to get the hell out of this place. She wants a little bit of property, single story, that kind of thing. And I just keep looking at her. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Ain't happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon. Not
Well,
here. Not
that's the thing. If you go to-
at least not in this area where we live, it ain't
If you go,
happening anytime
if you go to
soon.
a different state with cheaper housing prices and cheaper cost of livings, you also got to look at the infrastructure of that state to see what you're going to be making or what it's going to be, because you could be in the same situation or shittier.
You could, but
could.
at least, like, say if you do own a house here in this area though, and you do move to that next area, most of the equity that you would have would offset so much of that mortgage payment that
That's
you're
for people that have equity, though. What about people that don't?
Well, most people, if you bought pre-COVID or like just before the housing started doing what it did, you probably have a little bit of equity in the place to where you could do something like that.
I'm just saying, for me, like, I don't own shit. What if I
Well-
wanted to move to Texas and I wanted to spend a cheaper price on housing, but then finding a job there and finding,
Well, the property tax is going to fuck you
There-
in Texas.
there-
yeah,
There's
I
a
mean, not
whole lot
Texas.
that
I'm
goes
just
into
saying.
that.
I'm just,
There's-
you know.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's so many ways to skin it. Is kind of,
Well,
you know, there's
aside-
no fucking just clear cut to how it goes. You know what I mean? Like, there's your situation, my situation, their situation. Everything's going to be different for everybody in that regard.
From what I've seen moving all over the place and being in different areas, is it's all pretty much relative, man. The area that you live in, you're going to make more if the cost is more, like out here.
Yeah, the
compared
ratio,
to where
the ratio of what you're bringing home versus what's going out. But part of the reason we're in the position we're in is because people did cash out equity and were willing to pay higher than market prices
Oh, yeah.
for homes.
Oh, God, yes.
Which drives up the housing market, makes it more expensive.
Yep.
yeah.
Which it shouldn't really happen that way. I mean, things should
Well-
be sold for what they're worth, but things are only worth what people will pay for them.
And again, I'm going to throw out this little conspiracy theory here. You know, towards the tail end here of our conspiracy theory that I've had now going for about the last 6 months in my head is that when the God King Trump took back over in office, was that the Fed or somebody along those lines at some point here very early on is going to pull the rug to the economy
Demand the note up front.
and put us in a depression immediately with the housing crisis and have ourselves like another '08. And then what they're going to do is they're going to turn around and blame it on Trump. And
Well, it
say-
could happen that way.
And so I mean, they're going to give it a little bit. They're going to wait, let him do what he needs to do all of his executive orders and everything along those lines. And then at some point, I have a feeling that they're going to just pull the rug like they would in crypto, and everything's going to come toppling down. And then they're going to pin it on him, which in turn means, oh, they're going to smear him all over again with something new.
Sure.
Which is going to be, oh, look at what he did to the economy.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. and that's more or less just put the American people at suffering to try and make him look bad. And I 100% believe that they would do something like that. Now, will it happen? Probably not. Do I think it can happen? Oh, it could definitely happen.
We have a felon president. I think that's pretty awesome. Our president is a felon.
Yeah.
Our president is a felon. I feel with you, brother.
Yeah.
Does that mean he can't vote now?
What is more American than
So
that?
he can't vote.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. You can.
no,
You can.
no. They actually
You can't
outlined
vote
he
when
can't
you're
vote.
when you're first
can't
You
vote
can
as a
get your
felon.
voting rights back eventually.
and he can't
After a lot of time.
He
Yeah.
can't. He can't own a firearm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
wow.
was a little weird to me because when they came out with that article about 2 or 3 months ago, when I actually read that article in my head, I was sitting there thinking to myself, so if he can't own or be around a firearm, how is he going to have Secret Service around him?
Well, they are a law enforcement officer.
No, so even then you can't have a firearm around Zach in a certain.
what I'm saying is a law enforcement officer is not restricted from carrying a firearm around a felon.
I get that, but technically Secret Service is private security.
And you as a felon are
They're a government agent, aren't they?
No, I'm going to say this. You as a felon are responsible to not place yourself around firearms, whether it's a cop or not. So I was told that. Like, it
Well,
doesn't
I
matter
think
who
that's
it
a
is.
lie.
So even when I was on parole, if I had any interaction with police, it doesn't matter if I stopped for a traffic accident because I wanted to see if the old lady was okay in her car, I got reprimanded for that. Because I had contact with police.
There's fuckery that they can
There
do
is.
with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Big
this
time.
There's a lot of
all the
fuckery.
fuckery is all about interpretation and loopholes, and this is where like unifying would help because
Oh,
if we
God,
could all
yes.
agree to just say screw you to the fuckery
Yeah, but
and just say no, we're not doing that nonsense.
but everybody
you know?
likes America is just a gray area.
Well, I mean, yeah,
There's a lot of gray in this
There's a lot
country.
of that.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of gray.
it is part of how we develop, and some would say part of what makes this nation great, but I don't think that the person who intentionally dives down the fuckery loophole is like the best example.
Well, we've seen what that fuckery loophole does.
Yeah, it can
We've-
go. It
we've
can go
watched
either
it.
really good or really bad.
Yeah, we've watched it probably the last 6 years, I would say,
Oh yeah,
of what that loophole can look like.
Oh, yeah.
more than that, it goes way back,
It actually does.
way back.
Yeah.
So, finding the legal loophole is really what makes a champion of most legislatures.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, prosecutors, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow. Can't believe you actually got that to stick.
Yeah, how did you?
Good job,
How
Johnson.
did you sell that interpretation?
Good job, Johnson.
That's really
That was
at the end of
excellent
the day
work.
what
Excellent
matters.
work. I can't believe you actually pulled that one off.
And we've got all these measures and steps in place, an odd amount of people to make sure that a vote can't be split, and there's so much thought into freezing
Damn.
losers.
My balls just went prepubescent.
I know.
Mine actually
in the
sucked up to my
abdomen.
stomach.
We've got all these measures in place to guarantee that things are done in a fair and equal way. And it seems to be that the biggest focus is to figure out how to make it your-sided versus actually what's good and right.
Yeah.
And that's just,
Fortunately, it's all it is tribalism.
yeah,
I'm tired of tribalism.
well, selfishness, I would say.
That too.
We've become a very, very selfish world.
I'm going to put it out there. Let's go back to gladiator times.
I'd
Put
be
us
down
in
to
a
sit in
fucking
a
arena,
I'd be down to sit in a coliseum and watch people go at it.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I bet if the answer was you
That would-
hop in this circle over here
Perfect
and whoever
idea.
lives wins.
Death row inmates.
Oh,
Boom.
easy.
They're already on death row.
What happens if you win, though?
If they can actually get through the entire tournament of all of that, they're free to go.
No, you just have to do life. I don't know
yeah.
if they're free to go.
Yeah, it really depends on what they
It
did.
depends what they did. I don't know if you're free to go.
Okay, we'll go with life. I'll be down with that. All right. I didn't think that through quite.
I don't want any kitty diddlers out there.
Well, I don't think a kitty diddler is getting through a fucking gladiator
Child
tournament.
murderers.
It's going to be some fucking heinous, like, axe murderer.
I don't know.
thing.
Jared Fogle might be able to fucking slime his way through a fucking crowd of people.
No, Fogle's actually a fucking bitch.
I bet he's taking.
I actually watched a podcast of a dude that rolled him up in prison.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, old dude too. Old guy too.
There's old guys with podcasts talking about rolling people
that
up
was
in
interviewed.
prison?
I could show you some shit. Like, there's some cool pods of like old ass inmates and shit like that got out.
Damn.
And talk.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So one of them he was the guy who rolled up Jared, and he said he cried like a bitch when he found him.
I bet.
But no, there's some really cool interviews out there on the YouTube space of guys that have done some time that are out now and talk about their experiences and shit like that.
Because I've listened to some pretty cool
those.
I've listened to some Hell's Angels.
Oh yeah, there's
dudes
stuff like
that are
that
fucking like pretty hardcore shit, man, on some podcasts.
Yeah, no, there's some interesting ones that are out there where you're like, Jesus Christ, like I don't want to go there.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
For the most
I thought
part,
Sons of Anarchy was so cool when I saw the show.
But like the end of the day, like a lot of those guys just basically say, like, if you come in and I'm sure maybe you can speak to a little bit of this, Derek, but like if you come in and your papers are good and you're not fucking with people.
I'm going to say this for one thing. So when I was in there, there is one thing and one thing only that they give you in county and in prison. They give you a paper to fold up in your fucking pocket and put it in there that shows your charges that you were arraigned on, or that you got charged with, or that you're the conspiracy of getting charged with, or this or that. But if someone asks you to show you your papers, you fucking show them to them. And if you don't show them to them, you're fucking hiding something. And if you don't have them, they're going to find out, man. There's going to be people that are on like your breaks that are, when they get out, they're going to make some phone calls. They're going to call people on the outside. They're going to expose you. They're going to have all your secrets within minutes. I mean, it's some places could be a lot more savage. I mean, where I was at, they at least gave people the opportunity to where they went up to them and they said, hey man, you need to go up to the CO right now and you need to roll out of here. If you don't roll out of here, you got everybody in the unit coming after you. Yeah. You need to go to PC right now.
Mean, like a lot. That's
a bitch move. You go up to him and say, hey man, I need to put in PC.
And that's kind of from a lot of the stuff that I've watched in that. I mean, granted, I've never experienced that. I was on the very opposite side of any of that. But as savage as prison and all that kind of seems, at the end of the day, there's actually a code to it as well. To where you could actually go in, do your time, not get fucked with, and just get in and out.
You don't have to join any gangs. You don't have to do any of that shit. Like, if you keep your head down, you don't gamble when you're in there. Yeah. You don't fucking get in anybody else's business.
That's what I'm getting at. Is like
you can do your time just good.
It's like just going to work and going home.
No,
there's guys that can that can go in and do that, and just get in, get out, do what they need to do, and then obviously there's others that you're gonna get shanked the fucking first day you're in there. And there's others that are, hey, I'm here for the rest of my fucking life, so
might as well go ham.
Yeah.
And there's those others. You don't bet on that fucking football game if you don't have a Snickers bar. If you can't afford a Snickers bar on your fucking commissary,
I believe it.
Don't vote. Don't bet on the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a dude like me. So I was in a cell. I had a store. I had dudes that may have owed me stuff. I'm all right sized, but I had a dude, Benny, that was like 6'7" and 400 and something pounds. That was my cellie.
Yeah, you didn't do anything with that.
So I told Benny, I was like, hey, bro. I was like, these motherfuckers say they didn't get my Snickers bar because they lost a fucking match to me. I want you to go look at their commissary list. If they didn't even order a Snickers bar, fucking take everything they have.
All right.
Benny would go in there, and if you said you ordered a Snickers bar, he'd say, let me see your list. You didn't even order a Snickers bar, motherfucker's taking all your commissary. And you're not doing anything to a fucking 6'7", 400 and something pound fucking Polynesian. I'm sorry, you're not.
No. Yeah, no, not at all.
And if you say you are, I want to see it.
I want to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Record it for science.
Just, like Bill Nye.
Maybe that's some rotten.com shit. We could bring back some fucking cell fights.
Yeah, so if if rotten.com has been actually saved somewhere along the way, go ahead and drop your wisdom in the comments. Send us an email, boardroombanter@gmail.com. Speaking of boardroom banter, David,
What's that?
where can you find Boardroom Banter?
Oh, you can find it on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify. Every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, do it all. We love you. Have a good one.